Who the hell are you?
Heed my words, struggler. Soon a rain of blood, the likes of which you cannot imagine, shall fall down upon you. It will be a storm of death. But take heed, struggler. Struggle, endure, contend. For that alone is the sword of one who defies death. Do not forget these words.
Hey, what's it mean? Wait!
All right, he's here. The man, the myth. Captain Calcium, as some people call him. Skull Knight is one of the best characters in Berserk. He just kinda shows up and does cool shit, doesn't explain himself, and leaves. We still, even to this point in Berserk, don't know everything about him. There's definitely plenty of theories, but he's basically just one of those characters that everyone loves because of how little they know about him. Just everything about him is so friggin' cool, and I am so glad to finally have an action figure of him. And mine took forever to get here, even though I pre-ordered it directly from Good Smile. I don't know what happened, but yeah, mine just took an extra amount of time to the point where I was saying that, oh, he's not out yet, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, he is. So I don't know what happened with that, but anyway. Oh, and this is the deluxe edition. You also could get him without his horse, which I don't know why you would do that, but you can. Also, this one came with an extra little goodie that I almost threw out, but thankfully my wife rescued it from the boxes. Speaking of boxes, let's open this one. Don't even know what the point is. I can barely get this on camera. Whoops. There he is. Look at our boy. Whew, look at this horse. Oh, he's on a... There we go. All right, here they are out of the box, and they look fantastic. Let's play with them. So let's see how they feel straight out of the box. So my first impression with Skull Knight is he doesn't feel like a Figma, and in a good way. Like Figmas are generally, you know, like anime characters. They feel very delicate, and he is light. He doesn't have a lot of heft to him, but he's got like much more substantial looking joints. But that definitely doesn't compromise on articulation. You know, he's not exactly an acrobatic character, but as long as you can get him into, as long as you can basically just move his arms and torso around, you're pretty much good. But even still, you know, he's got great range in the legs. You can Spartan kick someone if you want to. Nice double jointed knees. And these pieces here, they're on a hinge somewhere, I think. I'm actually not sure what's going on here. They stay up when you push, but it doesn't appear to be on a joint. No, I think you just get a little friction right here when you push it up. So, but anyway, yeah, they get out of the way, so you can pose him pretty much however you need to. I mean, yeah, we got good, like, overall this is way better than I expected. You know, I don't need Skull Knight to get into like too crazy a poses, but you know, he is battle ready. He's got a wired cape. This is fantastic. This is everything I wanted as far as handling goes for him. Yeah, I don't have any complaints. This is for the stand, by the way. You can pop this out. Wow. He looks really good. And he's super fun to handle. All right, let's take a look at the horse. So horse has some nice heft to him. Now, I'm pretty sure outside the legs and neck, he is just a hunk of plastic. Like, let's see here. Yeah, there is no like body articulation whatsoever. This is just a solid piece. And I think that's okay. Because again, like this horse is not really shown doing anything too crazy aside from like, you know, some cool this horse basically just flies around and does whatever it wants. So you don't have to worry too much about like realistic horse poses. Yeah, let's scoot you back, buddy. So we can actually get this guy on camera. yeah, I mean, like the neck has great range. This is just one solid piece here though, so there's no additional bend, but you can move the head up and down, a little bit side to side. Yeah, this is really all you need. I mean, like, this is the most crazy this horse can get. It is just kind of, this ain't like a Fish Toys horse or anything, but that's okay. It does not need to be. It's interesting. It's like a layered set of reins here. So we got like the kind of tattered cloth and the actual reins that Skull Knight probably grabs onto. And the saddle comes off because you can adjust the stirrups to be higher if you need to. And just to round out this section, let's actually get Skull Knight onto his horse. So let's pick him up, put him on. The horse actually stands, oops. The horse actually stands really well on its own. Like, this does come with a stand, I'll show that, but you don't really need it. Yeah, he pops on there perfectly. And then you can just slide the stirrups over his feet. No adjustment needed. All right, let's see how easy it is to handle the accessories. So here's his sword in its base form. And they do the Figma thing where there's an extra handle. So you can just pop this off, put it on here. Which is cool, that way the sword can be separate, you know. There's that scene where he tosses it to Guts, so you can have him hold it. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see how hand swaps feel. Whoopsie-daisy. Ugh, a little scary. There we go. Pop that in there. There, that felt nice though. That went right on. Cool. Now where's that shield? Where'd I put that? Okay, this is like a blunt, this is like the blunt instrument way to handle this problem. So like often with figures, you know, like trying to get their hand onto this part and then a strap over their arm and like reattaching the wrist at a joint here, it's a pain in the butt. So they said, screw it. Here's a whole extra forearm. You know, that's one way to do it. That works. So let's see how easy it is to swap this. Oop. Extremely easy. I'm impressed. There's a little plastic plug in here too to keep the hole from shrinking when you're not using it. Pop that out. Yes, nice. I gotta say, you know, I love my Mythic Legions, I love my Savage Crucible, but there is something to be said for when you pay the big bucks for a Figma that's super user-friendly like this. Very easy to swap parts. All right, moving on. All right, let's talk about everything he comes with and whether he is worth the price. So we're gonna take a second look at the figure real quick, just to look at the quality of the plastic. And yeah, the texturing on here is incredible. The paintwork is nearly impeccable. I'm seeing a few mistakes here, but not a big deal. It really shines when there's like a splash of color here and there, like the red on the sword and his eyes. Let me see if I think they have a bit of a gloss on them, so they kind of reflect light a little bit. Very cool. Oh, there you go. See, check that out. Nice. Very, very well done. I love how like worn and weathered he is. I never realized how like almost organic his armor looks. It's very cool. Ooh, toe articulation. I missed that. Yeah, this guy's a beast. Like, he is very well put together. The sculpt work on the horse's armor is wild. Like, I never noticed like this back armor here is like a dragon. And I love the kind of like ship crest on the front here. Very cool. Horse has that same kind of glossy eye treatment. Yeah, this guy is glorious. So as far as like quality of materials, no complaints whatsoever on that front. All right, let's take a look at the accessories. So he's got the sword that we already looked at, and we've also got his powered up version of it where he's been chugging Behilits and then he shoves the sword in his mouth and pulls it out and it looks like this, which is amazing. You know, it's actually not quite what I expected it to look like. You know, like when you look at it in the manga, you can like kind of see the details of all the Behilits it's made up of a lot better. There's like a lot of little eyes and teeth and stuff. So, I mean, this does look very cool, but I kind of wish it looked different. Like when I see that thing in the manga, I'm thinking like, you know, the Soul Edge from Soul Calibur or something. still very cool. And we got extra hands. So we got the one that comes with his base forearm. So just kind of, you know, relaxed or slightly gesturing hands. We got 2 fists, 2 holding hands, which that's interesting because I feel like they didn't even need to do that because there's the special hands that hold the shield and the sword. And I don't know, I guess if you want him to hold something else, you can. And then we got some wider gesturing hands as well. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. These are for the reins. That's what they're for. And yeah, and also just some more better like reaching out, gesturing hands. All the hands you can possibly need. And we already mentioned earlier, there's the extra handle for the sword. And I'm assuming that this just pops off too. Yep. So you can just pop this right onto the sword hand without even having to switch weapons. Very cool. And crucially, an extra wrist joint. Always nice to see. And we've also got 2 stands. So we've got what I guess is now the standard Figma stand, this like big hexagon thing. Very nice. And a very chunky stand for the horse. This is really strong looking. I could definitely, I'll test it out, but I'm pretty sure you can get the horse in some cool aerial poses with this. And I believe this was exclusive to the deluxe edition, but you get this really cool base for the stand with Berserk branding on it. Careful when picking up the horse, by the way. I keep grabbing him by the saddle and then it pops off and then I drop him. Thankfully, I only dropped him a few inches, so not a big deal. But yeah, be careful of that. Oh, also, there is this little piece here, which is for, let's see how easy this is. You can actually pop the shield off of this arm and do this, and then stick it to the horse. So he has somewhere to put his shield when he's riding around. So yeah, this guy wasn't cheap, but he also wasn't like crazy expensive for a Figma, especially since like some of even like the smaller ones are like $120 now. I think this guy was definitely worth the price. So let's move on. All right, let's see how he scales up. So first I started it with some Berserk figures, and seems like he's pretty much good. He's a little bit taller than even the SH Figuarts guts. Seems about right. Like I don't think he's like a huge dude. It's hard to tell because most of the time he's on his horse, and certainly in a display, that's probably how you're going to show him, and he will tower over everyone there, so should be fine. Here he is with some FromSoft Figmas because he looks like he could be a boss in one of those games. Here he is with 2 of my fantasy customs. So we got my Dovahkiin on the left and my Barbarian on the right, whose video is somehow almost at 20,000 views. I don't know what the hell is going on, but thank you everyone for watching that. And here he is with the Warrior from Mythic Legions and my repainted Eredin from The Witcher 3. He hangs okay with 7-inch figures if you wanted to throw him in your fantasy display, but honestly, you know, this guy's kind of pricey, so I don't think you would buy him for any other reason than to be Skull Knight in your Berserk display. All right, here he is. Had to do some rearranging to get him to fit, but yeah, he looks great. He towers over everyone in the front row here. I would say this figure is essential if you love Berserk. He really adds some much needed variety to a Berserk display. You know, this is the first time we've gotten him as a figure. And yeah, like we are getting close to basically every major character that I would want. All I really want is the rest of Guts' new party. I would also really love the rest of the Band of the Hawk and a transformed Zod, and then I would be good. Like I would be, I mean, that's not true. If a new Berserk thing comes out, I will buy it. Pretty much, no matter what it is. Anyway, so I also want to say really quick, thank you so much everyone who has subscribed. Like that last Barbarian video just completely exploded, and I don't understand why. It is my longest video by far, but yeah, people really dug it, and it's like approaching 20,000 views, which is insane. And I'm pretty sure almost by itself it's getting me to that threshold where I can actually monetize my channel. So again, thank you so much for the support. It is greatly appreciated. I did not expect things to go this well this quickly, but here we are. That being said, I'm going to continue to catch up on my backlog over here, get a couple more simpler reviews out. Hopefully you enjoy those, and then we will move on to some more customs, because I've got some very cool ones planned. So that's it. See you in the next one. Bye.